Yeah. All right. So, you are the owner of Learning the Ropes Jump Rope program, and you're a personal trainer too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I've done a little bit of both. Yes.
Okay, I thought so. Um, so my first question is, I saw you began Learning the Ropes Jump Rope program and promote jump roping through like different workshops around the country and the world. Have you always been drawn to teach and promote your sport, or were you originally focused on performance?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think I've always been driven to like really teach my sport. I think the performance aspect or the competing aspect has always been fun. It's been a challenge. It's been amazing to do, and it's been great to win several different awards throughout my career. But I think the thing that I take a lot of pride in is being able to teach our sport because I stumbled across our sport because my PE coach had a jump rope team, so therefore, I learned I was on a competitive team and I went. But for a lot of people, they don't get that experience. So whenever I get a chance to like go to a school or go to a camp or whatever and be able to promote our sport, even at a young age, I want to do my best to put my best foot forward and say like this could be you as well. Like I know it's not all these opportunities aren't always out there, but
Yeah.
the more I can kind of just promote the sport, then like I feel like I was doing our sport justice, and I really wanted to like push it forward the best I can. And through our program, like that's all I'm doing now, which has been awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Um, so like what were the steps that you took to start that business and like promote jump roping? Like how did you get there?
Sure. So when we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, that was back in 2016. I had just left Seattle, Washington, and I was a head coach of a jump rope team out there for 5 years. We had 90 plus kids slash adults on there, and we traveled around. It was great. But when we moved to Knoxville, we wanted to have. When I say we, me and my wife, we weren't married at the time, but we wanted to try to make an impact the best way we could through jump rope, and we didn't want to necessarily have our own team because basically when you have a team and you're a head coach, that's what you focus on, growing
Yeah.
your team, competitions, and that's not a bad thing. That's just the nature of it. So we said, well, how can we just make an impact? And so we started going to rec centers and just teaching there and just getting the process started. Well, we went from like 2 rec centers to 3 rec centers. And then over the course of like 3 months, we had like 8 to 12 that were like, we all want you. And my wife, she was getting her PhD. I was also working as a personal trainer full time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, how do we do this? So we ended up working with some UT students and asked them if they wanted to be a jump rope instructor. We had 7 or 8 of them bite and say yes, and so from
Yeah.
there we went ahead and just kind of taught them level 1 skills, how to work with kids, how to progress different skills, things like that, so we can set them up to be successful. Because with all the knowledge that we have, we can walk in and do it. Not everybody can do that if you've never been a part of the sport.
Yeah.
So we basically started there and just really kind of building a group of instructors first and being able to send them out. And then from there, we just saw like a model that could really work. And so we kept that model going for like 3 if not 4 years in Knoxville. And then we kind of gradually kind of shifted over into Nashville. We had an instructor or two move over there. And so we found some locations there. And then when I was in Seattle, I still know a lot of friends up there, and there were some rec centers who were interested in jump rope programs. So we kind of branched up there as well, and were able to just really get jump rope going in rec centers as like normal classes, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that we were truly just making an impact. And so due to COVID, a lot of that stuff has stopped or just kind of
Yeah.
downsized now. So hopefully, as restrictions get lifted, we'll be able to like get these programs started back up again, so that we can keep promoting our program. But we do a lot of it virtually now, which has been just a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So you talked about working with kids a lot, and as a personal trainer, I assume you work with like adults too. So like what are like the differences in working with many different age groups, and like how do you modify the way you train based on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, I think communication is huge when you are working with kids and like adults. I say the biggest thing is you want to make sure that you can try to figure out what their communication style is. Do they want a lot of verbal feedback? Do they not want that? Do they want to connect? Do they want you to connect with them on their personal life, whether that be family or school if they're young? Like you, for me, a lot of the training is the
Mm-hmm.
talking, right? Like if I can kind
Yeah.
of figure out where you want me in that space, then I can know how to navigate through. And then I think also just trying to figure out like what their goals are, right? So adults' goals and kids' goals are going to be two different things.
Yeah.
It could be sports, it could be athletics, and even as an adult, it can still be sports and athletics. But I think just really trying to hone in on like one, how you can communicate with them, and two, like what their goals are. And once you kind of figure that out, it'll help you like build a relationship with them because that's the
Yeah.
first thing you want to build a relationship. And then once you build a relationship, the exercises or the programming that you're going to put into it, it's all going to flow, right? Because they're going to trust you. They're going to know that like what you're giving them isn't going to be crazy. Like they're going to really put all their effort into you because they know that you've invested into them. So
Yeah.
if you can communicate and really build relationships with either one of those groupings, adults or youth, I think that's going to carry you far. And the training after that, it will be fun for you. It won't be a stressful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm most interested in because I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know personal training is probably like at least the first path that I'm gonna go down. So yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Um, so I have some questions about like motivating people. So like, what problems have you run into with that, and like, how do you solve them if people are just
Okay.
generally unmotivated?
And quick question for you: are you
Yeah.
recording everything right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. I just want to make
Yes.
sure. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, it's on my phone.
No worries. Okay, so you said motivate people. Yeah. So I think with that one, I think it goes back to that communication piece because you don't know if they're like internally motivated or externally motivated, right? So I think I try to do my best of just being an encourager, but like I just don't try to over encourage, right? So like if I have let's talk about you, they'll have a kid who's wanting to do football. I'm going to push them in a way that I feel like football players need to be pushed and give them some of that encouragement that's going to kind of move them along the way. I'm not going to do too much of it, but I'm going to try to motivate them in that way so that they feel good and ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think also for an adult, right, you have to kind of find like what motivates them. And so if it's more of a family thing, their motivation might not be like yelling and things like that, but it
Yeah.
might be trying to find like little niches like, hey, I remember you have this skiing trip coming up. Like you really want to be able to go with. And so like that small of a motivation for them is like, okay, like
Yeah.
it kind of kicks them back into gear. And so regardless if they're like internally motivated or externally motivated, just kind of like finding those little small triggers, I think will help them because then it's going to kind of refocus them again. And then you can kind of push them in the direction that you want them to go.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thanks. So jump roping is like one of the more like untraditional modes of fitness. And what are some benefits of using this method that you've seen?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things, it helps with your speed and agility because, like, as you jump, you are kind of firing up those small muscles in your ankles, trying to get them firing, get them moving, especially the faster that you go. It's also just a very cardio-intensive workout. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very biased, but I think it's the best. I think it's the best cardio workout that you can do. Yes, you can go run, and that's great too. But I think jump rope is one of those things that it's just fun. It kind of brings like for there's a lot of adults, kind of brings them back to their childhood. And like, yeah, let's go. I also think that jump rope is depending on the rope that you get. So I use a lot of beaded rope, so it has a little bit more weight to it. Nothing crazy. But with those, I believe that it kind of helps with your upper body endurance as well because just that little bit of weight kind of gets you to have to like move your arms a little bit more to kind of get going. And I just think like the coordination as well. Like the more that you jump and you like try different skills and just the rhythm and the coordination that comes with it is awesome because I know for me personally, I started when I was 6, but I also played football, basketball, track, and I was a cheerleader in college. Well, I had a tumbling background, like that was great. But I think jump rope made me a better athlete in all those other sports because I have the rhythm, I have the timing, I have the speed and agility. I was just transferring what I did there onto the court or onto the field or whatever it was. So for me, jump rope made me a better athlete, and a lot of people they'll use jump rope as like a conditioning tool. It's not wrong. You're actually correct,
Yeah.
but there's more you can do it to enhance yourself in order to be a better athlete or a better person on the field.
Okay. Um, what's been the most challenging part of your career?
Oh man, the most challenging part is trusting the process. I will say that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when I first went to, we'll use jump rope first. I was a head coach of a jump rope team, and I had to like, I had been in leadership positions before with workshops and camps and things like that, but those were like one-offs, right? Like I would go for that weekend, I would do it, I would leave, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And then when I got a chance to like coach this team, and like they were under my direction every day for 5 years, it was like one, I had to learn like what that looked like. So I learned a lot from the other coach who had just left. But two, I had to like trust my own instincts of like this is going to work, right? And so I kind of went through that process. And then while I was still there, I got my personal training license, and I started my journey on personal training in Seattle, and then continued it into Knoxville. Well, even with that, I've trained myself a little bit, and I've done those things, but like training somebody else, are they going to listen to me? Are they going to get it? Am I making sense to them? Like all these things go in your head. Once again, you have to trust that process. Like it's going to work if you give it to them. If you're confident about it, like some people say, "Fake it till you make it." It's true. It's true. Like it happens sometimes. So, and then I would say, then leading into my own business or me and my wife's business, I've learned the ropes. It was trusting the process. Like we did a lot of praying. We were just like, you know, this is gonna work, and we just have to believe that all the work and the effort that we put in our other careers with education, with jump rope, with fit, whatever it was, that this was going to work as well. And given the last year and a half with COVID happening, like once again, we have to trust the process of like it's going to work. Things will look different, and things are going to change, but it doesn't mean that like the mission that you're on and what you're trying to accomplish, like it can still be accomplished if you keep working at it. So I would say the whole thing, just trust the process and know that what you're doing, it's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually like fairly new to exercise in general. Like I never played any sports in high school. Like my boyfriend just kind of taught me how to work out this year, and I got very interested in it. So I understand the trust the process thing, because it's like it's a mental challenge too, definitely. But like as somebody who's not as experienced in at least sports, do you have any advice for just me going into this field for like people who are, or how to motivate and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think like if you've never really played any other sports, I think you have to try to find your niche, right? So when you go into personal training, you might not be looking for sports athletes. You might be looking for the college students who are looking to stay in shape over the next 4 years. You might be looking for the moms or the dads who are like, I just need a quick boot camp workout. Like, and that's okay. Like, find your niche and go with it. I will say, if you get into a situation where you're with a individual who is very sports specific, football, basketball, it could be CrossFit, whatever that is, I would just do your research and try to figure out what movement patterns they need for their sport. So I think if you can like at least do your research in that end, it'll help. So if it's a football player, they need explosion, they need leg strength, they need all these things. How can you form a program that's going to give them that? Because regardless if you play the sport or not, if you can give them the correct program or a program that they feel like it's getting them to where they need to be, that's all you really need to do. So I would just do your research on those sports specific things, but I would also just find your niche. I had groups of just, 6 or 7 ladies. They just wanted to work out. There was no sports. They just wanted to move.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all about it, but then you also have the lacrosse player who wants to, make it and go play college. Okay, that's a different trend. But, I just did my research and made sure that I was prepared for every session that I went into.
Definitely. So what do you enjoy the most about what you do?
I enjoy being able to, I think I touched on it earlier, I enjoy being able to help others find the joy in my sport slash activity that I have. Because once again, jump rope isn't like a mainstream sport that people, it's an activity that people know about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cardio thing that people know about, or a fitness tool that people know about. But the sport aspect, they don't really know. So I enjoy teaching kids and really showing them, what jump rope can do, where it can take you, how it's blessed me. Like I enjoy doing that because if I can find that one kid or two kids who, football's not their thing, basketball's not their thing, those
Yeah.
mainstream sports, jump rope could be their thing simply because they saw myself, they saw my wife, they saw our program. We want to be able to influence or be able to affect change somehow. And we think through jump rope, we can do that. So I
Yeah.
think that's like one of the coolest parts for me because after we work with a school or something like that, I have PE teachers who will reach back out and be like, Nick, after so and so work with you, they bring the rope in every day. I
That's
can't get them to do anything else, but now they'll jump rope. They're
Yeah.
not great at it, but they're practicing. So
Yeah.
those type of stories makes me feel good. I'm like, makes me know that what we're doing is meaning something.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of like dancing in it too. I watched some of the videos to do my research. Yeah, it looks like fun.
Oh, I mean, it's a blast, and I think the cool thing about jump rope, it's forever evolving. So I've been a part of the sport for 27 years. I don't know everything, and there's new things being created all the time. So that's cool too. So I see those things. I'm like, I wasn't doing that 15 years ago, but I can try it now. I might not be great at it.
Yeah.
So so I think the dancing aspect to it is definitely coming to the forefront a lot more now with footwork and things like that. I think quarantine honestly brought a lot of that out because
Yeah,
people were just
probably.
at home, and so it wasn't like the big high impact tricks. It was like, what can I do that's fun, that's catchy, and then TikTok came out, and all
Yeah.
those things. So it just kind of helped spur that. Not that dance wasn't the thing, but I think it brought the little shuffle and the dance, the footwork dancing into it even more.
Yeah. All right, I've got one more. How do you use social media as a tool for your business?
I am always learning with social media. So I try my best to put out ads for any type of programming that we have. So whether it's classes or ropes or shows, like I do my best to try to like create those and put them out there. And I try to use all the different platforms. You got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. Because honestly, YouTube, you
Yeah.
just never know who's going to be looking at your stuff and when.
Mhm.
So I try my best to promote our company and promote our programs that we're doing, but I also just try to put out fun content for people just to have, see, and enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be the person that every time, like, if you're swiping through and you see my name, you're like, what is he selling today? I don't want that. I want it to be more like, well, what is he doing? Oh, that's a cool routine. Or he's selling ropes. I didn't know he sold, like, whatever it is. I kind of want to be a blend of both those. So I try my best to make sure that we are very, very we have a lot of just different content. I'll say that on there that people can use and see and enjoy and really just kind of spread them across everything. Like there are strategies for each. I don't necessarily have a huge strategy, but I just know the more content you can put up there and the hashtags, the more eyes will potentially be on you, so that you can you never know, you can gain a new client, you can gain a new follower, and maybe they'll turn into a client later on. You just never know. So I would just keep putting content out there. Consistency is the key.
Yeah.
I'm not great at it. Like I try to do like 3 posts a week, and it sounds
That's
like
a lot.
small thing,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, oh gosh, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you can plan it out though, there's a lot of different apps out there that you can use, Canva, scheduling apps, whatever. Like they really do help. So I'm trying to dive into it more. And when you're doing it by yourself, like it's a lot to take care of, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That was super helpful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate
Do you
it.
know where you're going to potentially be trying to like interview at or anything?
Well, I'm doing a practicum at WKU like health and fitness, like health and wellness, something like that. So it's just kind of like personal training. I'll watch like group training and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm mostly interested in like teaching people how to work out because that's what got me into it. So something like that.
No, I mean, I think that's great. And I would say, like, I mean, if you ever, like, I mean, you can do this with your boyfriend as well too. But like, if you want to like put together like a small like session, like a lifting session or whatever, and you like want to bounce it off somebody, I can come up to the school and you can take me through it. I can give you my advice of like, that was good, maybe do this, whatever. Because I think the more you do it, then you're gonna feel more comfortable giving that program or exercises to somebody else. So, if you ever need something like that, definitely shoot me an email because I can always use a workout.
Yeah.
So if you want to put me through a workout, I will do it, and then we can kind of talk and critique it from there.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, anytime. Well, thank you for this. And yeah, if you need anything else as far as for the project, let me know. We'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good. See ya.
Cool. See ya.